So let me say something that nobody in this space wants to say out loud. The market does not care about your bootcamp certification. It doesn't care about your SQL course. It doesn't care that you've been trying to break in for 6 months. And it definitely doesn't owe anybody a job. I know this is hard to hear, but if you're sitting down wondering why you're not getting a call back, this video is going to tell you exactly why. And more importantly, what you need to do about it. So hi, if you're new, my name is Zazo. I've been working in data analytics for 4 years and I'm currently a senior data analyst. So I've seen hundreds of analysts struggle because of these problems I will discuss in this video to get hired or even to start getting calls back. But before I get into that, I need to explain one thing to you. I need to explain to you what the job market actually looks like right now for a data analyst. 2 to 3 years ago, companies were hiring analysts just because you knew a little bit of SQL, you can find your way around Excel, and you can put it into a decent chart, whether that be a pivot table or an actual data visualization tool.
Have you ever had a dream that
And someone would take a chance on you? That era is over. Layoffs hit data teams hard. Companies are running leaner and leaner with the integration of AI into companies, and every single data analyst entry-level role is being flooded with applications and applicants. We're talking about hundreds of applicants for one position. I believe at my company, we just hired for an entry-level data analyst role, and I think there were over 200 applications. So when you post, I've applied for 200 job postings on LinkedIn, I hear you, I really do. And I know it's tough and I know it's painful. But here's what I need you to understand. It's not about the volume of your applications. It's actually the quality that really matters. So I want to address some of the things that I see all the time from aspiring analysts. And don't get me wrong, some of it is definitely valid, but other times it's simply just an excuse. So companies want 3 years of experience for an entry-level job. Yes, annoying, absolutely. I completely agree. How can you say it's entry-level when you're requiring 3 years of experience? But here's one thing that is guaranteed. If you keep complaining about it, that simply alone is not going to open a door for you. You'll need to find a way around it, and I'll tell you how. Or the I applied everywhere and nobody's responded. So this is the question I may ask. Are you just applying to jobs, or are you applying to the right jobs in the right way? Because there's a major difference between just blasting generic application after application and strategically targeting roles where you actually have a decent shot. Or how about this one? I have the skills, just no one won't look at my resume. That's literally just the baseline. And with a lot of AI integrated into companies, a lot of this stuff could be done pretty quickly and wouldn't take more than a couple minutes, maybe an hour for a senior analyst or even a mid-level analyst to do. Yeah, I get it, but you know what feels even worse? Being unemployed for another year because you refuse to have uncomfortable conversations. All right, so now I'm gonna tell you what's actually required in this market to get hired. The number one thing is your portfolio has to actually prove something. Just sitting here and doing a bunch of projects using SQL, Excel, same Kaggle data sets, that is not going to get you through the door. It's a portfolio that solves a real problem, tells a real story, and can show how you really think, not just another tutorial or something that you drew up on ChatGPT. Pick a domain that you care about, whether that be sports, finance, marketing, healthcare, or whatever. Find a real data set, find a real question or problem in that industry and solve it. Build something that somebody would actually want to read. The next thing is SQL goes way beyond simple select statements at this point. ChatGPT, Claude, Copilot, all of these different things can write queries in minutes, even seconds. So you really have to double down on a couple different SQL things: your window functions, CTEs, and your query optimization. If someone put a messy table in front of you Would you be able to clear out the clutter and answer a business question with only SQL? And if you can't do that, or you're not confident you can do that, you need to keep practicing. Now, this one goes beyond the technical aspect, business intuition, and not just technical skills. This is becoming more and more important with a lot of the technical skills being outsourced. So really knowing the business model of the company you're applying for, knowing the biggest problems that are within those companies, in most data teams, and how you are the perfect fit to solve them. The key thing here is no one is really hiring data analysts to run SQL and do the technical stuff anymore. They're hiring people that can really start influencing business decisions. The next thing is communication that doesn't put people to sleep. So what do I mean by this? Can you explain your work to somebody who doesn't know what a join is? Can you walk a manager or even a high-level executive through a dashboard without over-engineering and putting every single number known to man on that dashboard, or overwhelming them with technical and data jargon? If you can't communicate your work clearly, then it simply doesn't matter. Now, this last one is something that honestly I've seen a lot of analysts lack, and it's simply just grit. This is the one that nobody talks about. Will get you far, not only in getting a job, but in life. I see a bunch of analysts just crank out projects and that's it, and they think that that is grit. But honestly, grit is much more than that. It's applying for those jobs in the right way, networking, doing all of these things and still seeing no return, and continuing to iterate over your process and get better over time. That goes with networking, that goes with applying your resume, that goes with your interviews. All of these things, the simple thing that you can do is just have grit, especially complaining on LinkedIn, where some of your future employers may be seeking these positions. Watching you complain day in and day out already speaks so much to your character. Do you think that they would want to hire somebody that's always complaining and making excuses? What is that going to be like when they hire you? You're going to be a nuisance. Nobody wants to hire somebody that continues to just complain about the job market. What they want is someone, when shit hits the fan, somebody that's going to, have the grit and just get through it without a whole bunch of excuses. You're not the only one going through these things. Plenty of other people are applying to a bunch of jobs and not getting any response. A bunch of people are not getting their resumes looked at. A bunch of people are not getting interviews. It is the market that we're in. And honestly, you just have to have the grit to get through it, stop complaining, and just do what needs to be done. And if it's not working, do more. That doesn't mean sacrifice quality, but that means do more quality. It's as simple as that. So here's what you should actually be doing. I'm gonna give you the playbook here. So I would stop targeting everything and mass applying. I know that a bunch of you that are probably gonna watch this video are doing that, have done that. Those days are over, right? Numbers matter, I get it. Trying to give yourself the best chances. Chances are nobody is looking at your resume at all. I would find 10 to 15 companies that you really want to work for in the industry or niche, whatever you want to call it. Research their data stack, understand their business, how they make money, what are the biggest problems in that business. Tailor your resume and cover letter to suit them. If that means multiple resumes, make multiple resumes. The next thing, and this is kind of the thing that I'm doing, even though that I am already a data analyst, but build in public. That could be LinkedIn, GitHub, personal blog. You have to be creative in this market. You have to market yourself because no one else is going to. So you gotta document your learning, share your projects, write about stuff you've built, what you learned from it, get people engaged, reach out to people more senior than you and just ask them for advice. The one thing I don't recommend is just initially asking for a referral when someone doesn't know you, because at the end of the day, if they refer you and you don't live up to the job, that's their name that's on the line. So get to know somebody first, and then eventually, you can ask them for a referral or whatever. but bare minimum, you'll be able to get some knowledge from the years that they've been in the field. And you got to get your reps in while you're in this null phase of not getting a call back. So go through, get data sets from wherever you can, real data sets, and just continuously build and have those skills and sharpen that knife. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it does have to be real. The next thing is fix your resume. Make sure that you're quantifying your bullet points. I would prefer a longer bullet point that is quantified rather than something like built a dashboard for the sales team. I see this all the time, and people have the audacity to say that they're not getting calls back. That is exactly the reason why. Of course, you can build a dashboard. You can do a tutorial and learn how to build a dashboard. That says absolutely nothing. So instead, you could say something of this sort: built a dashboard that reduced weekly reporting by 4 hours for a team of 12. Something like that. This is what's going to put impact or the results onto what you did. I like to follow a simple framework: what you did, what you used to do it, and then what result or effect it had. Simple formula that your bullet point should have. Like I said, if you have to choose between 4 generic bullet points or 2 really detailed or specific bullet points, I do the specific ones 10 out of 10 times, especially in this market. So look, I'm not here to discourage you, but I have to be real. I feel like there is a lot of analysts out there, and I speak to them on a day-to-day basis, and they just continue to feel sorry for themselves. And don't get me wrong, I know this stuff is painful. I know it's hard out here in these streets, but at the end of the day, complaining about it, putting all of that on LinkedIn where recruiters and different people may be looking for you to get the role is definitely not the place. I'm not telling you not to have feelings. Everybody has feelings. Everybody gets frustrated. But I don't think airing it out and complaining about it will do you any good. Actually, I guarantee that you airing it out and complaining about it will not do you any good, because the more time you're focusing on doing that, less time you're focusing on actually improving and getting shit done. All right, so this is the end of the video. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you're working on. Love, peace, and chicken grease.